Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standards of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Tuesday, rolling into Sweet 16 tournament strategy, and it's here. MLB season is officially here, and it's going to be here with us, Dan, for the next 17 months. It feels like
forever. Baseball
wild.
Season just started, and it will continue through the rest of our lives. Those who are daily viewers, they're probably happy right at the top here. I can actually speak. I'm going to keep it low, though, Andy, so we can be full powered for baseball season. But yeah, I'm pumped. Jesse Schule coming on. Yankees, Giants. He's going to be breaking down here. He's also going to give you two teams you should be fading in the Sweet 16. That's how we're going to kick things off here as baseball is back. So that opening night game, best bet coming your way from our man Jesse. And then Bryan Power going to come on. He'll talk a little bit about the Sweet 16 as well, obviously. But tonight, I know you want that action tonight. Hawks, Pistons, Rockets, T-Wolves. Best bets in both of those. Andy's taking you all around the world. Andy, we cashed our lacrosse play last night, and we cashed our favorite play of all time, which is just Charlie McAvoy to have a point. The gift that keeps on giving, it makes no sense, but we told you, hey, you want an NHL play? McAvoy to have a point, and we did it again, Andy, and we're going to do it again today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. This is going to be a little bit of a deep dive about how can you follow these streaks, because this is a streak that has hit 27 out of the last 31 games that he's played in, and it's too important to not figure out how we can take advantage of these streaks. I mean, we could retire off of this man's player props, but we'll dive into that deep. We also got another unboxing of an autographed baseball, a mystery baseball. I think we shot our load yesterday with one that's going for $120 on eBay right now. So, all right, let's bring in Jesse Schule, who is out. He's on location. He's out in the field from his normal
super secret agent. Who knows where he's at? You know?
Yeah, Jesse, how are you?
I feel like Dan's voice sounds, which it's not awesome, but I feel something coming along. But let's hope I can perform well on the show.
All right. Well, Jesse is in the middle of losing his voice. Dan is on the way of gaining his voice back, and I am in the middle,
siphoning his power.
Yeah, and I'm suffering from allergies. There was a massive fight at my house this morning between myself and the allergies 10-8'd me. It wasn't a fair fight. So
yeah, Andy, welcome to WagerTalk Today, where one host can't talk, the other can't see, and the guest is getting sick. Let's go, baby. WagerTalk Today.
Sanitize your computer screens and keyboards after watching this. We are an absolute mess. But Jesse, we always bring you on. You're the fade god. You talked to us about fading, and credit to you. You said we're fading the underdogs. This is a chalky tournament, and you were right. 29 and no, it was the under 2.5 rounds. Leno, the allergies got the KO blow to me earlier today. So, yeah, you were right. This has been a pretty chalky tournament as expected, but we get two teams to fade in the Sweet 16. Give me your first team. What are we looking at? A team that you want to bet against?
Well, we're going to look at whoa. We're going to look at Iowa.
I know how that feels. Jesse.
73. People complain that we didn't see any upsets, but how about Iowa? 73-72 over the defending champs, Florida. All the credit in the world to Iowa. They're a pretty damn good team, pretty competitive. They play solid defense. They've turned things around completely under head coach Ben McCollum. Last year, they were one of the fastest teams in the country. This year, in a field of 365, they rank 365th, dead last in possessions per game. If you look at this game and you look at how they match up against Nebraska, these two teams sort of look similar. But at the end of the day, Iowa's a 9 seed. I said it last week. Chasing dogs is a fool's errand. Despite the fact that I was armed with that knowledge, the favorites I picked, they all seemed to lose by 0.5 point. But nonetheless, we were on the right track, even though I didn't have a great week. But the fact that we can get Nebraska here minus 1.5, I'll take them on the money line. I think you can get them for $1.25, $1.35, something in that range. Nebraska has some edges. Nebraska started the season 20-0. They didn't lose until they landed at Michigan and lost by a score of 75-72, just a 3-point margin against one of the best teams in the country on the road. If you're looking for edges for Nebraska, they should have the edge on the glass. They average significantly more rebounds per game. And 3-point makes. They make a lot more 3-pointers than Iowa does, but probably the most important factor is the coaching matchup. I talked up Ben McCollum a bit, but his resume doesn't really stack up against Hoiberg. Hoiberg's got multiple Coach of the Years, multiple tournament wins in the Big 12 before he landed here, and NBA experience. For me to be able to get Nebraska at this price, I got to fade Iowa in this letdown spot. After that, when the clock strikes midnight, Cinderella's carriage turns into a pumpkin. No Cinderella story for Iowa. Let's take Nebraska.
We're going to move on to your next team to fade. And what is it you hate about the Big Ten here, Jesse? What's the deal here? What did the Big Ten do to you?
I will point out Nebraska is a Big Ten team, but
semantics.
I know.
Semantics. It's a great point.
So, I don't hate anything about Illinois. Illinois is a damn good team, as is Iowa. Houston happens to be a great team. And as I mentioned with the coaching matchup in the previous game I mentioned, this one's very much the same. Nothing wrong with Underwood for Illinois, but Kelvin Sampson's a legend. You look at his resume, the two resumes don't stack up. Houston, they're destined to be playing in the Final Four, in my opinion. Illinois, they're right there. They're close, but Houston 30-6. They lost twice to Arizona. Arizona might be, if not the best team in the country, second behind Duke. You take away those losses, Houston didn't lose too many games, and it's at the Toyota Center in Houston. I think Illinois will put up a fight, but this line of -3, we can get Houston on the money line as well, relatively cheap. Give me the Houston Cougars in Houston. We'll fade that dog again.
One of the funniest things, one of these things that just aged kind of funny, like in my lifetime, you were allowed to smoke on airplanes and in movie theaters and things. One of the funniest things to me is that Kelvin Sampson was once suspended for sending too many text messages to recruits. This is a real thing. that they're like, wait a minute, you have sent too many text messages.
Double text. You never double text.
That was just it's millions of dollars going to student athletes. Never double text. Here we are.
Whether you're recruiting or in the dating pool, Andy, never double text. It's a good rule to live
by. Jesse, Johnny Detroit has entered the chat and says Jesse has a sick promo at picks and parlays. What is this sick promo you speak of?
Is it related to your oncoming sickness, or is it unrelated?
Yes, very sick. No, my Major League Baseball profits have been sick. Last year, I believe I was number 1 at the All-Star break. I finished last season number 3 at WagerTalk in total profit with Major League Baseball, up 58 units, 61% winners. But last year was not a one-off. If you go back to 2024, top 3 in profit, 2023, 2022, last 4 years consistently top 3 in profit with Major League Baseball. Really excited about opening day tonight. And the package we have available, this sick promo that Johnny is talking about, it's a 3-for-1 deal. 3 top 3 cappers for the price of 1. 7 days for $79. You get myself, you get my man Ricky Tran, who's number 1 on the network the last 3 seasons in total profit, and Pro Sports Picks, also a top 3 handicapper last season. All 3 of us hit over 60% with our picks last year.
Baseball's such a grind. It's such a bragging point to be in the top 3. You're never going to be number 1, but 4 years in a row just because baseball. But be top 3, top 5, and consistently turn profits in such a grinding, hard sport is really good work, Jesse. That's a feather in your cap, brother. You should be very.
Thank you, Andy. I would say any victories in this business consistently. A lot of people hear 60% and say, "Oh, hey, 55% is pretty damn good, and none of it comes easy.
Well, let's talk about this game tonight here. It's opening night, Yankees, Giants here. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I do have a play for clients up posted on the website. So we're not going to talk about the side. We're going to try not to give that away. But when I was deciding which side I was going to go with, I was also looking at the total. I was kind of torn. Decided to put out the side, but I also like the under, and I like the under in the first 5 innings. At the end of the day, it is opening day. Both teams are sending their aces to the mound. Logan Webb in the World Baseball Classic, he only allowed 1 run in all his appearances there. Tossed 4 2/3 scoreless innings in the quarterfinals against Canada. Logan Webb has been fantastic for the Giants, specifically at home. It's not the best numbers in just 3 starts against the Yankees, but only one of those was at home. And then you got Max Fried, 4-1 with a 2.68 ERA and a dozen starts versus the Giants. Both these pitchers have more strikeouts than hits allowed against these 2 opponents here. First three under 2.5, says Mark Martin. I'm going to go first 5 under 3.5. I thought he had guessed what I was going to go with, but yeah, I think both these pitchers will hold court for the first 5 innings. So I'm not sure what's going to happen when the bullpens come in, but I do like the under 3.5 for the first 5.
We need to clip that quote from Jesse. I'm not sure what's going to happen when the bullpens come in, because that applies to about 90% of baseball.
Well, I do bet a lot of first 5s for that reason.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. I mean, it's tough unless you really dive in and handicap the bullpens, and you need at least a month plus of data to start doing that. You know, how much rest, how deep did they go? How deep did the pitcher go? How early did they go to the bullpen? I feel like that's become, Jesse, one of the most popular ways to bet baseball, simply because people don't want to mess with rotations on the back end there. So I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm backing a team based on their starting pitcher, it's got to be a first 5 bet.
Yeah.
If I'm backing a team based on their bats or based on other factors that outweigh the starting pitching, I'll go full 9. But if it's a bet based on starting pitching, it's got to be first 5.
Love it.
Jesse Schule, thank you so much for joining us. Jesse, I know you're not feeling great, but great breakdowns as always. We're fading Iowa. We're fading Illinois. We're supporting the under on the first 5. Get better and go check them out at Picks and Parlays. We've got a great special. Jesse, one of the best in the business, especially when it comes to baseball. Craig says in the chat, 60% is great. However, not if you're laying minus 170. It's a great point. It's a fair point. The way that you can do this, because there are some people that like to lay a lot of juice. I found a lot of success once I got rid of juice tolerance, where I was like, I'm never going to lay another minus 140. But once I got over that hump, it got a lot better. But all you have to do is really go through the algorithms. And now with AI, you can just put in how many bets do I have to win over 3,000 bets if I'm laying an average of minus 120, minus 140, minus 150. So you can plug that into an algorithm and you can get really, really good odds. So like I always tell our clients, we need to hit about 57% of our bets, not 55% to turn, because we are okay with laying juice with some of the fringe sports that we got. So, and then of course, because we have smart asses in our comments, which I love, 90% better, but only at minus 2,500 odds. Okay. All right.
Well, and something that we had, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the username there. Something he said earlier too. He's rocking with the Yankees tonight. I don't hate that. I don't hate that look, and getting into minus 117 when the market's moving your way. That's fine. But he quantifies it with it's way too low for a Yankees team ever. This Yankees team last year against this San Francisco team, they don't play very often. They went 1-2. You know what I mean? So I would pump the brakes with just saying, oh, the Yankees are supposed to be good this year. Let's eat chalk with them early. Not advocating for the dog. I'm just saying, especially in baseball, last year didn't mean bupkis. You know what I mean? What you saw in spring training doesn't mean anything, guys. Tread lightly to begin MLB. Some of these guys are going to dive in. Some guys like Jesse, they have an edge right out of the gate. But guys, be smart to start MLB. This is, I would argue, Andy, the number one sport that you need big sample sizes in, because every single season is a microcosm. So in my opinion, I always pump the brakes out of the gate, except maybe player props, strikeout props, things like that, where you can handicap it a little bit better. But as far as money line plays, tread lightly out of the gate.
We are going to have a player prop coming up and all around the world. This is a market that we've seen success in. So we are going to talk a lot about player props throughout the baseball season on this show. We had a great meeting, myself, Dan, Jan, Jim. We're tackling baseball head first. A few years ago, we were number one in baseball at WagerTalk, and I would really love that crown again. For all access clients, I'd love to be top 5, top 3, but we're going to talk a lot about baseball because the props markets they're getting wider. They're getting more available on all the sports books, and there's just a lot of ways to profit off of that one. So,
well, and Andy, I was just about to say, speaking of which, we were talking to the Detroit office, and we were like, dude, we are seeing it great right now. We cashed our lacrosse play last night. We got the NBA prop home. We won some free plays here for the folks. So I think, we've been talking about the buy 3, get 3, everything like that. Tell them about this 30-day special that we have, because the action is only picking up for us and our team, Andy. And I think people should be striking while the iron's hot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when you're seeing things really good and it's at a sustainable number, that's when you want to run specials and get people to jump on board. I don't want to run a special when we go 12-1 because we know regression's coming. But we're hitting a good percentage of our plays, and we got a 30-day special. We're knocking $100 off. It goes from $2.99 down to $1.99. We lost the cricket play overnight, but yesterday 2-1. And the Winning in the Shadows family, all you guys that are all access clients, like you guys have been really supportive and really good, and it is paying dividends. We're up 35 units just in the last 2 weeks. You get all of our plays. We have a 5% golf play and a 5% darts play. We have our NBA play that's up today. And I will tell you right now, Dan, I doubled down on our golf 5% play. I played it big.
Oh, wow.
And then I put more money on it. Yeah. So
we got to get to Bryan so he can give us some stuff, and then I can fire mine up. But Andy, continue, because I need to go double down myself, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. So 30 days, $2.99 down to $1.99. I said we wanted to be up 30 units in the end of March. We're creeping up on 40 units. So we're way ahead of schedule. Really happy with that. That's wt.buzz/AL. Again, NBA best bet is up. 5% golf play, 5% darts play. Those go off tomorrow. So grab these plays, guys. This is the time of year where we can cash big on these sports that are off the radar and the books are not paying any attention to. But who we are paying attention to is Bryan Power, and that is another professional segue. I mean, you got to go to school to catch up on segues like that.
That was well done.
Wow. Bryan, happy Wednesday.
Andy,
how are you?
Yeah. Great. As a matter of fact, always great to be here on the program. Just getting ready for the Sweet 16 tomorrow. Major League Baseball, as you guys were talking about, getting underway. And then a couple NBA games we'll be breaking down here for the people. So lots going on, as I don't need to tell you guys.
It's funny when baseball season starts, like at the beginning, we're all like, hey, baseball's here. And then you realize how many hours that adds to your work day. You're like,
I wish it would have started next week, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Rob Manfred's done it again. I don't know why you would.
But he does.
I don't know why you would start it this weekend, but that's just me. I don't know. Just trying to make my job easier.
I could have a casual morning. Oh, wait, the Mariners play the Angels. Great. I get to break down that pitching matchup. Wonderful.
Great. I got Skeens versus Peralta at 1:00 tomorrow. I thought I was actually going to get to enjoy my cup of coffee. Here we go.
So we brought you on, Bryan, for NBA doubleheader. We got Hawks, Pistons, Rockets, Timberwolves. Let's go over NBA, and then we'll get your thoughts on any other sports that you have going on. But let's talk this Hawks Pistons team. This Cade Cunningham injury, he goes out, and sometimes you just see these teams that discover gold when a player goes out. You saw it with the Denver Nuggets with Peyton Watson coming in, and they discovered a real player. And then this is it Janice? Is that Jake? I can't remember the guy's name. He goes off for 30 against the Lakers. So you have this Hawks team that's flirting around with the playoffs. You got this Pistons team that's trying to hold on to one of the top spots. What do we do with this game tonight? How do you break it down?
Yeah, just so everyone's clear, both games we're talking about here today on the show are on ESPN, and both games, Andy, nice setup there. We'll be talking about teams whose star players injured, and they're doing okay still. But before we talk about Detroit without Cunningham, I want to talk about Atlanta. They've won 13 of 14. But let's look through the list of teams they've beaten, Andy and Dan. It is a real rogues gallery, if you will. These are the teams the Hawks have beaten, okay? Brooklyn, Washington twice, Portland, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Dallas, Brooklyn again, Milwaukee again, Orlando, that's a decent win, Golden State, and then Memphis. None of those teams, guys, would currently reside in the top 15 of my power rating. So all teams in the lower half of the league. Also, 11 of the 13 wins for the Hawks came at home. Wouldn't you know? One time the Hawks did lose over those last 14 games. It was to a top 15 opponent, and it was on the road, 117-95 at Houston. And I'm bringing all this up because tonight they are in the Motor City. The Hawks facing a Pistons team that leads the East, of course, with a 52-19 straight-up record, already clinched a playoff spot. And the Pistons are currently without their best player, Cade Cunningham, as you mentioned at the top, Andy. But since it was announced Cunningham would be out with the collapsed lung, Pistons have gone 3-0. If you caught the morning wager on Monday, 2 days ago, Zeno and I told you to back the Pistons as home dogs against the Lakers. Sure enough, comment section didn't like that one, but the Pistons were a winner in that game. And Pistons are favored tonight, okay? But I think all things considered, the number is too short. Just not a believer in the Hawks. Big edge defensively to Detroit in this matchup. And with Cunningham out, if you're looking for someone to step up, Andy, you mentioned this is the NBA. Someone always steps up. It's not like when you lose the leading scorer, a team's going to score 60 points. Okay, it's just not going to happen. It's the NBA. Somebody always steps in to fill that vacuum. I think Thompson is a guy for the Pistons who might have a good game. He always plays better at home. But regardless of who steps up, Pistons minus 2.5 is how I play this one, guys. I just think this number is too short. The Atlanta Hawks, to me, are just a team that right now I want to, as I often preach, sell high on.
I mean, that who's who of who the Hawks beat is just scheduling. You're never.
Yeah, it's not a surprise when you look at it. You're like, oh my God, the Hawks are this hot. Well, how did this happen? And then you look who they played. You're like, oh, well, they've played everyone who's not trying. I mean, could they have not ordered Utah or Sacramento on that trip? I mean, or on that homestand, I should say.
What are the Pacers doing these days? Why
exactly.
are the Wizards on the schedule?
Yeah. I mean, so it was, they took it. I mean, look, you can only beat the teams in front of you. Give them credit. Obviously they might avoid the play-in tournament, the Hawks. So you have to finish in the top 6 to do that. They are in the top 6 right now. But, yeah, I don't know. To me, the Pistons and the market, we talk about how players always seem to step up in the wake of these injuries, Andy. I just think there's always in the NBA, there's just an overreaction in the market to these injuries. This is just too short of a number to me. The Detroit Pistons, they're trying. I realize they pretty much got the top spot sewn up, but minus 2.5 at home, I'll take the better team.
Blocked is in the chat. He's a huge Hawks fan. And yeah, he's saying they didn't make the schedule. I will say this about the Hawks. I have no proof of this, but I just think if they still had Trae Young, I think they lose 3 or 4 of those games where they had no business losing them. I like this Hawks team, actually. I really like the makeup of them. I think they're maybe not this year, but maybe moving forward next year, they get all the pieces right. I like there. So speaking of a team without their star player and somebody that steps in, can I introduce the public to Bones Highland?
Yes.
He's been a player prop gem since Anthony Edwards went out. And Bones Highland was kind of one of these guys that was like, you don't really want to depend on him. Mm-hmm. He's not bad. He's pretty good, given a lot of energy off the bench here. And maybe the Timberwolves have stumbled onto something here as they move into the playoffs here. They're playing a Rockets team. I could not be more out on a playoff team than this Rockets team.
Yeah.
Their defense is kind of gone. They just kind of seem like a mess. So what do we make of this Rockets Timberwolves game tonight?
Yeah, Andy, I'll echo your sentiments. As a matter of fact, Houston's the team I faded on Monday. If you're a client of mine, you got a 3% play on the Bulls plus 8.5. Turns out we didn't even need the points. Bulls won that game outright, led by as many as 22 at one point. Did get a little hairy at the end, but again, it was an outright winner. It was a horrible Sounds like maybe you were aware of this, Andy. That was a horrible scheduling spot for the Rockets, playing their third game in 4 days on the road against a Bulls team that had been off for 3 days. You don't see that very often in this league. But like you, Andy, I have to say, big picture, the Rockets are a team I'm not buying in terms of the playoffs. I think it all depends on the matchup, right? We can say, oh, they're not looking so good. I don't think they'll win a first-round matchup. Well, let's see who they play. But I think another first-round exit could very well be in the cards for Houston. But here is the thing for tonight. I do expect them to shoot better than 27% from three. They were only 11 of 41. That's 27% from beyond the arc against Chicago. And they still scored 124 points, mind you, despite lousy three-point shooting. Now, I know the Bulls are really bad defensively, but still, any improvement from behind the three-point arc for Houston, and we should see them still put up a decent number tonight here in Minnesota, who is coming off a pretty shocking outright win. They were 10-point underdogs at Boston. I had a free play on the T-Wolves in that one if you visited wt.buzz/pp. I just thought it was way too many points, even though the T-Wolves are, as you've already stated, Andy, without Anthony Edwards. But similar to the Pistons, we talked about earlier, without Cunningham, Minnesota's 3-1 without Edwards since he went down with the knee injury. They only scored 104 and 102 in the last 2 games. But you look at Minnesota, the makeup, the roster without Edwards, it's more of a perimeter-oriented team. I think that's going to mean more three-point attempts. I'll play the three-point variance game here. I know that can be dangerous and just say, hey, I think the shots will be falling tonight. But not only will Houston be better from three than they were in their last game, I think Minnesota will be as well. We've seen the overtake money all morning. Total for this game is now as high as 224 at some places. Just double check here. Sometimes things can change after I do my notes. Yeah, 224 is the high point, 223.5. Some other shops, so shop around, guys. I still like the over at the current number. I think this total is an overreaction to the Edwards absence.
We got Major League Baseball that's starting. Brian, any teams you got your eye on? Like teams you think maybe overachieve, underachieve? Just, don't need any specific plays. Just some teams you're looking at.
Oh, I could list off a bunch. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to check out the morning wager today, Zeno and I did a 20-minute crash course preview. We went over a lot of over win totals. We like under win totals. You like going back. I know you guys were talking the Yankees earlier. Zeno, who obviously is a big Yankees fan, he and I kind of agreed that ceiling wise, this is probably the lowest ceiling for a Yankees team entering a season in recent memory. But if there's a few teams, some dark horses to take a note of these are all American League teams. I like the Rays over. I like the Rangers over. I like the Royals over their win totals. I like the White Sox over their win total as well. So kind of rare to be so positive, I guess. But that's 4 teams that I think the odds makers have them overrated. There's going to be teams that step up this year. Andy and Dan, you look at how all these win totals, with the exception of the Dodgers, I mean, everybody, and the Yankees, who I would not bet over their win total, everyone else is in the 80s or lower. So, look, I think some teams are going to step up in the American League, and that's a handful that I think could do it.
Nice. Tell everyone what you have up at Wager Talk. Tell everyone about Morning Wager. It's an awesome, awesome show. Get your day started off right. Tell us about it. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we have a great special offer going on. This is available exclusively at Picks and Parlays, not on my page at Wager Talk, but if you go to my page at Picks and Parlays or Zeno's page at Picks and Parlays, you can get this. You can get the rest of the college basketball season from both of us for just $99. I think that's a really good deal. It was a winning first week for me in the NCAA tournament. Felt like I was through a 12-round prize fight emotionally, Andy and Dan, that weekend. The ups and downs of that thing, man. Like, you win a couple in a row, then you lose a couple in a row, but it was a winning first week. That's all it's about. I'm excited about the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. Also, for today, I have 2 NBA plays, not either game I talked about here on the show. On a 40-20 NBA run, that's 67% if I do the math. So pick that up, 2-for-1 deal. You can get right now. But if you want the rest of the NCAA tournament from both Mark and I, Mark was awesome the first week. He went 10-2. You can get that at Picks and Parlays right now exclusively. $99, both of us. Rest away.
Awesome stuff. Great job. Tell Mark we said hi and keep.
I will.
Thank you very much.
I won't tell you what he said. I'll tell you what. Who knows what he's going to say? But
yeah, that's a good point.
You
can tell Andy to.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. He'll rant about something, but yeah, hey,
It's true.
All right, hey, guys.
All right, thanks,
always
Brian.
a pleasure.
Yep, you
Thanks
too, buddy.
very much, Brian. Bryan Power joining us.
It's true.
All right.
There's a great yin to the yang, which is Mark Zinno, which again, watch the show. The fact that they swept the board yesterday, sure, you get the free plays, but just to watch Brian cringe whenever Zinno goes off the chain, that's worth the price of admission, which is $0. The price of admission really hit subscribe. That's all we ask.
Absolutely. So, all right, we got a lot to get to here, Dan, you and me. So we can talk about bankrolls. We can talk about opening, unboxing, autographed baseballs. We can talk about props and streaks. Let's talk about the streak. Actually, let's do all around the world, and then we'll talk about the streaks. Let's give the people some free plays here.
Yep.
It's just I feel like this is becoming the Charlie McAvoy show, but my God, he had a point again last night. They only scored 2 goals. He had one of the goals, and he plays again tonight. It's a tougher matchup. The Sabres have been very good. You've heard Ross talk about his Sabres, but the last 4 home games for Buffalo, they have allowed 14 goals, and this is a Bruins team that scored 10 goals in the last few games. So we'll go right back to Charlie McAvoy at -132. He will have a point. This is a props market that we talked about yesterday in our meeting. The Yankees and Giants. We're taking Aaron Judge over half a walk.
Yep.
There are these guys that get walked all the time when they don't have protection in the lineup, when teams don't want to pitch to them. You get a ton of walks. You go look at the walk leaders last year, and it's astounding how many walks some of these guys have. And the lines are going to adjust throughout the season, so we need to attack this early and often. It's -129 on DraftKings. So we'll take Aaron Judge to have a walk, and this is kind of one of those rinse and repeat plays. Like 1-0 would be great. We're looking for it to go 6-2, 7-3, one of these types of plays before the lines adjust. So,
yep.
And then we go to the Warriors and Nets. Gary Payton over 10.5 points. We talked about this on Monday. Scary, sad injury to Moses Moody, but that's going to mean Gary Payton's going to get even more minutes. He's gone over this in 7 straight games. He's shooting 60% from the field. He's making 5 to 6 shots per night, and he gets a horrible team, the Brooklyn Nets. And not only does he play the Brooklyn Nets, Dan, he comes off the bench. So he plays the bench players of the Brooklyn Nets. So I get a bench player at 10.5 points to go over his point total against the bench players of the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, I will take this one. Gary Payton is one of these. He's one of these bench players that we talk about here at the end of the year. Rob Dillingham, Taylor Hendricks, Gary Payton. These are the props that you can make a lot of money on. So, all right, Dan, we got to talk about Charlie McAvoy in a serious nature. We kind of joke about him. This man has hit this prop in 27 out of 31 games. We talk about our Let It Ride mission. Twice since January, he has gone 8 games in a row with a streak.
Yeah.
If I could bottle this formula and figure out when these streaks are going to happen, I could retire next year. And I don't have the answer to it. And chat, you're more than welcome to jump in and point out some of these streaks.
This is the numbers. Yeah. So he goes on these absolute tears and then boom, it loses. But then he hits 3 in a row. Like there's never been a time where it loses and then he doesn't immediately go and get a point the next game. That is something that I think is prescriptive. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I wish we could hop on when he gets the beginning of the 8 and we ride it all the way. But this shows you, Andy, something that you talk about all the time. And it is, just because something that is working loses doesn't mean you reinvent the wheel, right? Just because maybe you went a little bit too high or you hit 5 in a row, so you were laddering it, you put it all, and then you lose. Don't be afraid to go back to what has worked for you in the past. You know, once it loses twice, maybe then you settle back. Maybe once it loses 3 times, then you push off. But this is something that you've been preaching since you've been at WagerTalk, is like, you know, Joe says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this is really, don't overreact to one loss, especially if you have a formula that's working. And McAvoy point, for whatever reason, is a formula that's been working.
Yeah. So chat, if you guys know streaks that are going on right now, I will tell you, There is no doubt. It is. We don't do locks on this show. I'm giving you a lock. There's going to be 2 or 3 of these that happen in baseball this season.
Oh yeah.
Some prop
Hit
is
streak.
going to hit 20 out of 23 games. It's going to be a guy getting a hit. It's going to be something. And if we can just identify these streaks, not after they're done, but as they're happening, can we figure out what these streaks are? Because that is really what I've made my mind. The all access clients, you guys know John Rahm on the Live Tour to finish top 10. Every single week that they have a tournament, he finishes top 10. A couple years ago, Xander Schauffele to finish top 20. This was a no-brainer. So these streaks are out there. Help me out, guys. Help me out if we can find these streaks, because
and the chat right here is a great place to drop them. In the comments below is a great place to drop them. But one of the places where people are exchanging this kind of info all the time is our Discord channel. You know what I mean? Like these are the kind of things that are in discussion in the Winning in the Shadows Discord channel. And if you want to know, how you join in, reach out to Andy, reach out to me. We can easily get you access in there. And we highly suggest anyone who buys all access, like this great, 30-day package that we have going here, where you save, over $100 on that. It's an absolute no-brainer. If you get that, I would suggest to join the Discord. It's completely free. And then it also gives you maybe a little bit more guidance and a direct line to all of us who are actually capping these plays. And we'll answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the comments after the show.
Perfect.
It's a free Discord. So, so we will be blocked.
That's wild. That's wild. Blocked. That is wipe your ass. Blocked. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna try. I'm telling you guys, there are going to be these streaks that unveil themselves throughout baseball season, and we identify. You only need 1 or 2 of them, and you will make a lot of money on the bankrolls. So, all right, are we ready for a baseball?
Unboxing time, baby.
All right. Those of you that missed yesterday, I have a bunch of mystery autographed baseballs that I'm going to unbox. I've never seen these. They're wrapped. And yesterday, we might have hit the jack. We might have blown our wad yesterday. So, Dan, if you could pull up eBay and see if you can find how much this particular baseball.
Yep. Who do we got today?
All right. So opening the box.
unboxing.
Yesterday was Keith Mitchell. We discovered that baseball was going for about $120. We got 6 more of these. What is your prop record the last 2 weeks? Tom, I don't have it in front of me. I know Sports Memo is 7-1. That's not sustainable. It's very good. I'm really happy with it, but I know we're plus 35 units in all sports the last 2 weeks. I do not have the exact prop record. I know what it is at Sports Memo because I was just in that website. So, all right, here we go. Yanir Diaz.
Yanir Diaz.
I have a feeling this one's not going to be worth $120.
Yeah, let's see.
So,
Yanir Diaz, eBay, Astros of the Houston Astros.
Yeah, Diaz signed with the Cleveland Indians, international free agent in 2016. In 2021, he was traded to the Astros, made his MLB debut in 2022. I don't know this guy, and I can't imagine this baseball is worth the material.
One sold. Andy actually was Tuesday, so yesterday at 11:44. Yanir Diaz signed official baseball, $39.99.
Not bad. Okay. All right. Not bad.
I feel like that's going to be like,
I legit,
unless it's super like, I feel like that's going to be the floor for these baseballs. Like I think $39.99 is pretty damn good for something that you won because you're good at playing Dave and Buster's games. You know what I mean? The investment has already recouped itself if you sold this for $39.99.
All right. So the chat's telling me that he's pretty good. He's a starter, could go up. Okay. All right. Starting. Oh, so he's still playing.
So that's a hold. That's a diamond hand hold.
We're holding. We're holding this one.
Because we got one
Absolutely,
posted. This is with authenticity. So there's one that sold this morning for $39.99. There's one with a certificate of authenticity that's listed right now for $69.95. So this is one that could go up, but I don't think you go much lower than $39.99. You're doing good, Andy. I'd say that's 2 for 2. I'd say that's 2 for 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, they don't have like horrible players autograph baseballs.
No,
like they don't go to the minor leagues and be like,
they don't have
hey,
me
guy,
after the celebrity softball game signing baseballs. Yeah.
like, hey, you, the one that never plays, autograph this baseball. I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah, I know the ones sold yesterday, Andy, for $40, but most of these are posted for around 70. So that's a good pull. Another good pull. 2 for 2. And I like this because now you and I have just become the bigger Yanier Diaz fans in the entire world.
100%. 100%. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love this. Now I'm rooting for him.
I'm gonna tell everyone in the world how good Yanier Diaz is for the rest of the days that I am on Earth, Andy, to drive the value of your baseball up.
Every time he hits a home run, I'm going to add 10 cents onto the sale.
Yeah. I've just become a Diaz truther.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. Oh, that would be amazing if he broke all right. So this is going to be a hold. I'm going to put that Keith Mitchell ball up for sale along with a few other ones that I have, but I'm going to hang on to this one. So the chat tells me this is a solid one. So I'm going to hold on to this one for
It's
sure.
been fun, Andy. I love a good unboxing, and I feel like I got skin in the game now because it's my partner in crime here who's doing the unboxings. I love this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a lot of fun. I have other stuff I can unbox.
Maybe, I don't know. Comment below and let us know. Should Andy and I, to end shows during baseball season when things are a little bit lighter, we'll have something fun to do over the summer. Maybe we just start getting into some unboxings here on the show, Andy. Maybe you guys want us to continue some other unboxings. Comment below and let us know. Should we go cards? Should we go memorabilia? Should we go grab bags? Let us know. I like this, Andy.
I'm with you. So, full disclosure, I want to answer Tom's question because we tell you when we win, tell you when we lose. Last 2 weeks on props 7 and 11. So we have a losing record on props. The last week has been much better, but just not trying. We don't hide anything from here. We will talk honestly about when we win, when we lose, when we're running hot, when we're running cold. So last 2 weeks on props 7 and 11 on props across all sports. That's at WagerTalk.
And also it's worth mentioning too. 7 and 11 on props, yet we're also telling you the last 2 weeks we're up 32 units. And that's because what you get with Andy's team isn't just prop plays anymore. You know what I mean? Like that was his thing when he first came on to WagerTalk. But this has morphed into me, Jim, Jan, Andy, and we're attacking sports that nobody else is. So even though you went 7 and 11 on your props, Andy, because of the team that we have and the way that we, go across the gambit on what we're betting, 32 units documented, speaks for itself. We won another lacrosse play last night, guys, speaks for itself. You want to bet baseball all season long, be my guest. You want to cash with a team who's 32 units for you, which some people can't get you in a year. We did it in 2 weeks.
Truth.
WT.buzz/AL. That's all I got to say about it. That's what I'm doing, Andy. I'm rocking with the team. I suggest they do it as well.
I do too. Like I said, I've doubled down on our golf best bet. It was funny when we were recording our golf show yesterday. Jan and I log in. We don't talk. Jan and I. That one of the things we do when we record the golf show. We don't talk, and we just started talking, and we both agreed without even talking to each other what our 5% best bet was.
You guys were very excited.
Yeah, we're very excited. So I've doubled down on that with my own money. So let's cash on that. All right, we're going to do it again tomorrow, same time, same place. Loaded baseball slate tomorrow, guys. Expect us to be very, very baseball heavy tomorrow. We'll get you excited about that. We're Sweet 16. We got NBA, we got NHL rolling. We got a lot of stuff. So thank you so much for joining us. Please hit the like button and leave a comment below. Tell us what you like and tell if you agreed, disagreed with anything. Special thanks to Bryan Power and Jesse Schule for jumping in. Let's cash. We got 2 5% plays that go off tomorrow. Let's have a big day. Good luck on your bets, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.